Hey, what's up? Welcome to another exercise of the week. And starting this week, and it'll continue on sort of a regular basis, I want to talk to you guys about an exercise or exercises that you can do in the gym. So a lot of the times in the past, we've talked about in our exercise of the week editions here, things you can do on your own, mostly with body weight or some simple equipment, maybe some high intensity interval stuff that we've talked about or medicine ball stuff. But I want to start showing you some things that you can do in the gym. And it's probably stuff you may have already done before or may have seen other people do before, but I want to give you a little more insider tips on how to most efficiently and safely perform some of these exercises so that you can get the most out of them. So for today's exercise of the week, I wanted to talk to you about pull-ups. Now, oops, sorry about that. For most people, pull-ups are really, really tough, right? If you're like me, you were that kid in elementary school that was just crossing your fingers praying you could do 1, 2, 3 max. I was kind of tall. I always had a lot of body weight to lift up and down. I always felt like I was at a disadvantage compared to those shorter kids who could just pump them out and move their body up and down. So pull-ups, however, are a really, really good exercise that will, if you can do them, give you a lot of strength in your upper body, also a little bit in your core as well. And for that reason, they're a really good exercise to do regularly. So what can you do if you're one of those people who has body weight to lose, or if it's just really, really challenging for you because you lack that upper body strength? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to show you a self-assisted pull-up that you can do pretty much anywhere, depending on what sort of bars and different things that you have available to you. But I'm going to show you a way to progress from doing a modified version of the pull-up that we're going to talk about today, and how that can move you towards doing actual full unassisted pull-ups. Okay, so let's check it out right now. Okay, so self-assisted pull-ups, here we go. So what you're going to need is some sort of bar or handle of some kind, maybe the handles of a TRX or other suspension trainer, and you're going to need to line that up to about the level of your armpits, maybe just slightly below that. The reason for that is because when you do a pull-up, you're going to pull your hands up to above that level, maybe about chin level. But we don't want the body to come fully extended to the point where you're standing up. We always want to keep a little bit of tension on the legs. So that's the reason for the lining up. That's a very important first thing to make sure that you line up so that the range of motion during the actual performance of the exercise is as it should be. The next part of this is grab your bar, and then what you're going to do is let yourself sink down to the ground directly under the bar, kind of sitting on your heels and calves. Okay, so what's going to have to happen is your feet kind of come forward of the bar so that you can achieve that position, and then from here is where you're going to pull yourself up vertically into the pull-up. Okay, so now that you've got the positioning set up, it's time to do some pull-ups. So the reasoning for putting your legs there is so that, number one, having your feet on the ground effectively reduces your body weight so that you can better be able to perform some pull-ups. And then number two, if you become fatigued anyway and feel like you can't perform any more pull-ups, you have your legs there as sort of like a backup plan to kind of push your way up. So you don't want to use your legs a whole lot, but if you need them, they're there. So again, when you get fatigued, they're able to give you just a little bit of a help, hence the name self-assisted pull-up. It's sort of like if you were doing pull-ups and somebody was holding your feet and you're able to push off of their hands while they're holding your feet in order to perform more pull-ups. And the reason why this is such a great thing is, again, it's hard for most people to do pull-ups in the first place, and so in order to get better at them, you need to do more of them, and in order to do more of them, you need to have some sort of mechanism in place that allows you to do that. Okay, so this is where that comes in. And so what you want to do is have your hands wider than shoulder width. You can play around with the width and it will target different areas of your body. And just focus on pulling your torso straight up and down in a vertical plane. If you don't do that, it's going to end up being more like a row, which is a totally different exercise. It's not that it's a bad thing, but it's a different exercise. It's not a pull-up, and you're training different muscles. And so anyway, try to keep your body nice and vertical. When you're down in that seated position on your feet and calves, your ankles and calves I should say, you may be leaning back slightly, but once you start to pull yourself into that pull-up, pull yourself vertically. Okay, so try this out. You may still not be able to do that many at first, but I promise you, if you just start off with letting your legs be nice and loose as you pull yourself up, and then adding in however much assistance from your legs that you need to perform these reps, you'll be able to perform more and more repetitions of this, and you'll get stronger and stronger at your pull-ups. So the progression beyond this obviously is to hopefully work up to the point where you can do actual pull-ups without any assistance. So the more you do these, the closer you'll get to that point in being able to do those pull-ups, and before you know it, who knows, you'll be banging them out like nobody's business, and everybody will say, wow, how are you able to do so many pull-ups? And at that point, that is when you say, well, I watched this video on Superhuman Fitness. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, guys, that's the self-assisted pull-up, and I hope you get some benefit out of this. Again, this is something you can do at home if you've got a bar or anything to hang from, or at the gym, either way, okay? So make use of them. It's really great on the upper body, really helps a lot of different muscles to develop, and rounds out your fitness program in that sense, okay? Take care, guys, and if you're interested in more of these exercise of the week videos, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter or subscribe to the YouTube channel. And in 2015, I've got some amazing things lined up to show you and to hopefully have you benefit from, that has to do with these exercise of the week videos and some other stuff. It's going to be kind of a well-rounded total approach to your fitness when it comes to motivation, education, training techniques and approaches, okay? So stay tuned for that in the future editions of these videos, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Aloha.